South Africa, our once beautiful, prosperous country, is being destroyed before our very eyes. Our people are getting assaulted, raped, and murdered almost on a daily basis. South Africa stands among the top 10 countries with the highest murder rates worldwide, ranking 4th in the world. South Africa's murder rate is estimated to be 9 times higher than that of the United States. There have been over 500,000 murders committed since 1994 to date, including thousands of children. Within a stretch of 9 months in 2016, there were more than 14,000 homicides. The South African Police Service has it that 2.1 million serious crimes were reported within 2016 to 2017. Some cities witnessed double-digit percentage crime rate increase within these years. White farmers in South Africa have the most dangerous job in the country and are twice as likely to be murdered than the police, and are killed at 4 times the rate of other whiter communities. As the ANC government moves to seize all white-owned land without compensation, civil rights organization AfriForum claimed that there have been 109 attacks, which left 15 white farm workers dead so far this year. That follows the 82 killings and 423 attacks in 2016, though none of the figures can be verified because the South African government has refused to release farm murder statistics since 2007. Some of the killings are reported to have been barbaric, with farm owners tortured, raped, burned alive, and slaughtered in front of their families. Since the ANC came into power in 1994, they have managed to loot and destroy every state-owned enterprise in the country. The prevailing economic crisis sweeping through South Africa is a direct result of economic mismanagement, largely shaped by the looting of state-owned enterprises. Many are in deep trouble. Sheer incompetence and corruption has pushed entities like South African Airways and the South African Broadcasting Corporation closer to financial collapse. Serious questions are being asked about the legality of multi-billion rand procurements at Transnet and the state power utility Eskom. Nearly half of the country's 257 municipalities are in poor financial health and are struggling to deliver services to residents, collect revenue, and pay their debt. Last year, irregular expenditure by municipalities increased over 50% to 16 billion rand. This year, however, it increased 75% to 28.376 billion rand. Ever since the ANC came into power, their intents have been to take all the money out from the hands of white people by giving jobs to unskilled black workers. The broad-based Black Economic Empowerment Amendment Bill eliminates all white people from employment, including the disabled. Due to the over 119 race-based laws prohibiting white South Africans from employment, more and more families are finding themselves in crisis. There are now over 400,000 white people living in squatter camps. Where is this all going to end? What are you going to do about it? Are you going to wait until it is too late? Are you going to wait until you or one of your family members gets raped or murdered? There is only one logical choice. Get out while you still can. What we all want: to live in peace and security, to have a decent roof over our heads, to have food security, to have proper medical care, to have a high standard of education for our children, to have the knowledge that our children will have a bright future, to have the peace of mind that we will be looked after when the time comes that we cannot look after ourselves anymore, to live in a community of people with the same values and cultural backgrounds as us. What are the options? For many people, English-speaking countries are a natural choice. Especially places like Australia and New Zealand are very popular. The other options are the USA, Canada, Britain, and some of the European countries. However, for many people, it is very difficult or even impossible to move to one of the English-speaking or European countries. In most cases, some kind of visa is required, and the criteria for obtaining residency are of such a nature that many do not qualify. You are either too old or do not have the right qualifications or do not have enough money. In many cases, it is a combination of or even all 3 of these factors that make it impossible. In addition, the rand is worth nothing in these countries. There are other alternatives. There are other countries where one can get permanent residency and where the criteria for permanent residency are not so high. The biggest problem is usually that the language and culture of such countries deter people, and not without reason. It's hard enough to adjust in an English-speaking country, and even more so in a country where you cannot understand a word what people say and where their culture is vastly different from yours. One of these alternatives is Paraguay in South America. Why Paraguay? It is a beautiful country with friendly people and a fairly stable economy. As a South African, no visa is required to come to Paraguay. It is fairly cheap to acquire permanent residency. There is no age restriction. The only requirements are you have to be in good health, you have to have a clean criminal record, you need to deposit $5,000 into a bank account here to prove that you have the funds to survive without the help from the Paraguay government. This $5,000 is per single person or per family and is refundable once your application for permanent residency has been processed. Living costs in Paraguay compare very well to those of South Africa. All products and services are freely available. Good schools and top-class medical facilities are available. Taxes are very low, maximum 10%. There is an initiative in place to help South Africans relocate, find their feet, and help them to make a success of this big step. In order to ensure that the big move to Paraguay will be a success for most people, the plan is to establish an organization that will provide its members with all the necessary assistance and support. Not only with the initial move, but also with the adaptation in this new country with its foreign language and culture. I therefore introduce to you Cooperativa Africana. Cooperativa Africana will enable its members to find their feet in Paraguay. To achieve this, the cooperative will provide a variety of services and resources for the benefit of its members. For example, information and advice regarding the required documentation, both in South America and Paraguay. Assistance with permanent residency application in Paraguay. Assistance with the application for cédulas or ID cards. Assistance with obtaining Paraguayan driver's licenses. Assistance with temporary housing for members and their families. Assistance for members seeking employment. Assistance for members who want to establish a new business. The possibility of permanent housing and employment opportunities on the premises of Cooperativa Africana. If you would like to take part in this initiative, register now. Registration is free and does not place you under any obligation whatsoever. To register and for more information, please visit our website at www.coopafricana.com and join our Facebook group, Trek to Paraguay.